Morning. It is 9:24 in the morning. It's a bit of a late start for me today since it's my off day, but I thought I would film a sort of vlog thing on how I use my planners throughout the day. So I usually start with my Hobonchi A6 day free, and it's pretty basic. This is my monthly main page, and it's a time tracker. So I start the day with recording what time I slept. So last night I slept at about, I think it was like 1 or 2 a.m. and then I got up. But I just got up like not long ago. So it's quite a long sleep for once. And yeah, it's quite a long sleep. I was catching up on my sleep debt basically. So after that, I go to today's list of things to do, which I already wrote out last night. So the biggest thing today for doing is, of course, the whole packing and unpacking of my study slash craft room situation. And yeah, so that's what I feel. I guess that's like the main content of this video. So it's a work in progress. I have already started a bit because I couldn't live out of boxes entirely. Um, so I've drafted in the fixed stuff in ink, where things that I've already decided where they're going, like my fabrics, what I want to hang. My yarn already has a spot. My gifting station, gift wrapping station, and all is already in there. But I still do have a lot of things in boxes that I haven't decided where to put yet because I was waiting on buying my shelves. So yeah, I might change it as I move things around. So this is entirely in pencil. Yeah, so the parts that aren't confirmed yet are in pencil, and we'll see how things go. So first things first, I need to change out this top shelf. I got a shallower shelf to put my leisure reads on top so I can actually see and reach it. Basically, if I use the original deck, I will not be able to reach the books or see them while standing. And with my ADHD brain, essentially what's out the side will be entirely forgotten about. So I am moving most of my leisure books, which are quite they don't really require a lot of depth of space, so they all go on top. It's just about one shelf, which is just nice. Then below that, I am going to put all my artsy mindset books, which were originally below, but I'm going to move it all up so it's all in one place. I will probably stick some decorative things here later too, since it's high enough that the cats probably can't jump onto the shelf. I'm just hoping that if they jump off the top of the shelf, they will not knock anything down or they won't fall off and pull it down. But in the meantime, well, that's just what we're going with here. So I'm kind of doing a V shape here where it's not exactly accurate, but it's kind of like the art stuff is on one side and then like the mindset-y stuff sort of it's on the other side. So it kind of comes together with the short stuff in the middle. So the thought is that if the short stuff comes together in the middle, there will be that because shorter books tend to be I want to say narrower, skinnier. So they take up less space on the shelf. So the idea is that if it comes together like a V shape, and there'll also be a V shape on the shelf itself for me to put decorative things. Yep. So that is the reading stuff, I guess. Then the other shelves are going to be full of I guess generally things to be used. So I struggled for quite a while trying to figure out what goes where and how to use shelves because I was using cubbies for so long. And essentially what I decided on was I I think somebody told me on Instagram that like I should use magazine holders. So I went to IKEA and I got these really basic magazine holders, and I'm going to use them to sort of subcategorize things so that things can essentially look neat and tidy. So the next shelf down is essentially prime real estate. So I'm going to put my ongoing projects and things that I want to use regularly there. And yeah, so basically what happened here was that my phone ran out of space and stopped recording. But in any case, I finished up that shelf of ongoing projects and things that I want to access on the regular, and below that shelf is all the art papers, the big format ones. So it kind of like bled down a bit. So the small ones are on top and then the big ones are below. And yeah, so I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to use the other magazine holders to kind of sort out the other things. So I have my language books, like my Japanese, French books, that honestly I don't know why I still keep the French ones, but it feels like a waste to throw them away, so I'm just gonna keep them first. So things like my Flow magazines, which I have a lot of, like they can just go live in one cubby all together, kind of things that I should probably look at some point. Haven't decided what to do with them, but yeah, they can all just live together. Then in the cubby beside it, I am putting my sort of like archive of things. So these are old projects and things that I like to keep, and then random notebooks of things that I still want to refer to, haven't gone through and harvested them. Like, I haven't gone through them to harvest what's in them for to decide whether I want to keep them, throw them, or not throw, recycle the paper, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And below that shelf, so on the lower shelves, what I'm thinking, well, at least I'm trying it out, is that I'm going to put things that I will not reach for as often, but or either I will not reach for as often, or things that I will automatically go look for. So I have a cubby that's entirely for crafts that I do on occasion, but I'm still on the fence about, like my stem carving, my jewelry making, my polymer clay, which I haven't touched in 5,000 years. And then beside that, I have a spot for all my fountain bendings. They kind of all have to live in a box because, once again, cats. Yeah. Then on the bigger shelf, I think I can afford to include one more shelf in there, just to give things a bit more room to breathe. So on the absolute bottom shelf, I keep like my random things, like my photography props, my box full of like art supply stocks, which are like my watercolor tubes for when I want to restock my palette, my glue gun, all that kind of stuff that if I want it, I'll go for it. If I don't want it, I'm just not gonna look for it, and I don't need to see it to remember. Then I'm gonna add a second shelf below the art paper shelf, just so that I can split up the art papers. So one shelf can be like art paper, and the other can be my tracing paper, my random papers, my Tomoe River, stuff more for letter writing, and I guess like junk journaling kind of vibes. Whereas the top is more for like my A3 size papers, for like the washi paper I bought in Japan, for example, the watercolor paper that I got from Kari Papers, stuff like that I don't know, it's just different. So they're just gonna stay out there. So that's the shelves mostly done. Then the last thing for this section of the room would be I think my box of journaling things. So I kept everything in a box, like a big brown box, and it was great for moving, but it also means that I don't really, it's kind of hard to navigate and I can't pronounce words, and yeah, so I kind of want to make it a bit more accessible and keep everything like all in one place but still accessible. So I'm going to repurpose these Muji drawers. It's the same as the ones that I am using for the A4 papers over there. So yeah, I have a lot of different sizes of papers. So in any case, like these drawers used to house like my husband's things, but I managed to relocate them to somewhere else a bit more sensible. So now these are empty and ready to be used. So it's the same size as the ones that I already have, which was intentional. So I can just stack it directly on top because it's stackable, so that's great. So I'm going to use one drawer for stickers in general. So I have stickers with, or is that some of them are just normal stickers, some of them are like the MU Craft, like I want to say rub on. It's like the kind that like it's like transfer stickers where you have to like apply friction and stuff for it to transfer. And then so that all goes into one drawer, and then like the other drawer can be for like I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, ephemeral, like random like bits and bobs from here and there that I held on to because they're cute, and I haven't decided how exactly I want to use it, but I might use it in some journal or other. I also have so many rubber stamps that are also in their own acrylic drawers up here that I haven't used in forever. So honestly, I mean they are now very accessible, and I just need to turn my head to see them. So hopefully I use them. If not, I probably would have. I think I ought to look into kind of like a de-stash kind of situation just to clear some space. I mean, I do have. I mean, they have. I have enough storage for them. They are still living within a good amount of space, but I'm just not sure if that's how I want to go on, because it's real estate and they're just basically things that I'm not using. So yeah, so that's the shelves mostly done. It's now 3:16 p.m. so I'm gonna start on dinner before I come back and finish up. So I'm making my version of ABC soup today. It's a pork base, so I'm just dumping the meat into the water, putting it to boil while I get all the other ingredients and chop them up. We have carrots, we have potatoes. I like russet potatoes for this, and also tomatoes. My neighbors have been giving us so much produce, and it's a bit of a struggle to finish it all because there are only 2 of us in this household. And yeah, so I'm just gonna try and use it up by making a soup. So I'm just chopping things up and then just dumping it straight in the pot. Can't forget the onion. I love onion, so it's a very big onion. So I'm just gonna chop everything, chuck it into the pot, and mix it all up. I'm also gonna add in some dried dates, dried wolfberries, and scallops, and then I'm just gonna wait for it to boil up. I know 3 sounds ridiculously to start dinner, but this is a slow cooking kind of meal. So essentially, what happens when I'm lazy and I have the ingredients for this is that I like cooking soups because I can just start them in the middle of the afternoon when I feel like taking a break, like now. Chuck it on a pot, bring it to boil, and then stick them in the slow cooker. And once that's done, I can just leave the slow cooker to run until it's dinner time. So the only other thing I need to prepare would be rice, which is very fast. So this is a soup, and this pot actually comes from, it's actually the pot that goes into the slow cooker, because it can go over an open flame and in the slow cooker as well, so that's great for me. So I'm just gonna let it come up to boil. It takes a while, because honestly I should probably have covered it earlier, but I forgot because I was just dumping things in all the time. And yeah, so this is not exactly a traditional ABC, but like close enough. It's my version. It could probably use more meat, but I ran out of meat, so we're just going to have a heavy on the vegetables kind of situation. It's fine. We can eat more meat like another day. So that's done. I'm just going to stick it in the slow cooker over here, which is another ancient appliance. Set it on auto, and the food will be ready in 3 to 4 hours. So it's back to the study craft room for me. So I have a couch in here. It's not really a couch, it's actually a single sized mattress, but I'm using it as a couch. So I kind of want to pretty it up for myself. So I got these plain boring IKEA bedsheet, but it's functional. I might upgrade it to something else in the future, but for now this will do. This was like I think 9.90, and then I splurged a bit and got myself this duvet cover set, also from IKEA, but loads more expensive. And I'm sticking my single size duvet in there. It's just kind of like, it's like a really, I'm just thinking of this like as a really big throw kind of situation for me to like kind of squish around on if I felt like, you know, lazing around a bit, or if I just wanted to be more comfortable. There isn't a lot of sun in this apartment as well, so I don't want to wash heavy things like duvets like too often if I can help it. So I'm gonna just dump some pillows, cushions. There's also a matching pillow. I have an extra pillow, so that's going there. And yeah, so the area is mostly done. I still have a pile of some things on the table to sort through, on the tables to sort through actually. But yeah, I think that is my craft slash study room mostly all set up. And well, getting the cat out of the closet. Yes, I forgot about it. They tend to sneak into spots they're not supposed to. So I'm just going to go back into my planner and cross off the things that I've already done. And now I will update my floor plan, so to speak. It's not really a floor plan, but yeah. I'm going in with my tiny Tombow eraser. I love this eraser. And just erasing it and putting it down, like what I actually did with the space in ink and what went to which spot. Certain things are a bit more modular, so I'm just going to have yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, I actually realized that I'm in the filming of this, my phone did not record the section where I packed the drawers. Like as I'm looking at this now, my phone did not record the part where I was like packing the drawers and the packaging and all that. And even though I'm really satisfied with it, so maybe I'll do another video on that another time. But yeah, I technically, I know it doesn't look like it, but I technically share this space with my husband. So there's stuff in here like Gundam model kits, way too many blue pens, but I have a lot more stuff of this nature in general, and my brain is the one that needs things to be in line of sight, so I kind of like monopolize the whole space, but it works, it works. So I have a little time before I have to start cooking rice for dinner, so I'm going to do a bit of old school journaling once I finish updating this what do you call it, this floor plan thing. But just a quick, like, you know, what I used here. I'm doing the lines with my usual the bullet tip side of my clean color dot marker, the two-sided one in grey. I tend to use that whenever I need grading because it's like the perfect light grey. And then for regular black ink, today I am using my palette and gel. So this one originally came, this is the Kawaii collection, some Japanese design. It originally came with a 0.5 blue ink. Generally, Energel comes with, palette Energel comes for their design, their design versions, they all come in like 0.5 blue ink or 0.7 blue ink depending. But I'm not really a fan, so I switched it out for a 0.4 in black because I just don't like blue ink. Yeah, there's a lot of blue pens in this house, but I don't use any of them. I just find blue ink very, very, very bright. So since I have this bit of time, I'm just going to do some old school journaling. So these basically I've had one of this since I was like 9 or 10, really. So they're just blank notebooks. I started with line notebooks, and then I decided I preferred dot grid maybe, I want to say 10 years ago. And they're really me just dumping my brain on a page. I call it talking to my brain. It gets quite personal, so I'm not going to show it, but essentially it's just a lot of words on the page. I have about 5 spreads left. I've been keeping track in this notebook. And yeah, no, more than 5, like about 6 or 7, I think. Yeah, so I have a tab that kind of keeps track towards the end because I like knowing how long more I have to go. And yeah, so I usually just take the opportunity here to use my fountain pens. This is where I use my fountain pens the most. And on some days I write half a page, and on other days I write 8. It really depends. So I have also been doing, I mean, this is essentially me talking to myself. And I have been doing it kind of structured a little bit more. I've been trying to do it like every day, though it's a bit of a struggle because it does take a lot of time. And yeah, on days where like you're rushing around, it's a bit hard. But I have been trying to be a bit more regular with it. I am also like paying attention to certain things that I've read from so there's this other artist called Amy McNee, and like I'm following, sort of following along her journaling kind of course thing. So yeah, that's another thing that I have been doing in conjunction with this. It's been pretty good. I might share more about it in the future, we'll see. But generally this is just me talking to my brain. It's a bit of a short day. Today is more of a half page kind of day. Mostly because I do have to go, cook rice in a while, and there's the other things on my plate. So that will be for later. And honestly, I'm just not in the mood to get too deep in the weeds of like, what's in my brain sometimes. Like sometimes when you journal, you just get a bit it gets quite mental health regulationary, and it just gets a bit heavy. So some days where I don't feel like dealing with the heavy, it's a bit hard to write too much. Hello again. It is now 8:13 in the evening. I am done with dinner, and there isn't much left to do today. I don't feel like starting new things in the evening because then I get suckered in and it messes up with my sleep cycle even more. So I'm just going to do a bit of unwinding now. So one of my daily unwinding things is filling up my Hobonichi Techo 5 year. So I turned 30 last December, so I thought it would be a fun thing to start doing this year, a record of like the highs and lows of my 30s basically. So I splurged a bit and got the grey Ohio cover, and I have no regrets. It's really pretty. So I usually pick 2 colors each month to write with. For April, I'm doing Tasha's coral pink for the high and low labeling thing. I'm using my Kaweco Perco in an M nib, and then for the little details, that you actually go where I actually write the thing, I am using Noodler's Apache Sunset in my Lamy Safari. I want to say EF. Yes, this is an EF. Usually I would just do lines of stuff and pray my cats don't annoy me too much. But I also occasionally embellish with stickers. So today is one of those days. I am also thinking of getting a photo printer so I can insert pictures of notable events and whatnot. But that's probably going to be at least like $150 purchase. So I'm still contemplating it. So one of the things that I would do if I had a photo printer probably would be like to take a picture of the room as it is, like when it's done and what it looks like, because that's satisfying to look at, kind of, because there's that the way the day free is set up is that there is a blank page beside it for anything you want to put in. So it would be nice to have something there. So it could be pictures, it could be, yeah. Anyway, my pen is a bit dry, so I probably have to fill it up before the next time I do this. Anyway, so that's it for this one today. It's really fast journaling, honestly. I'm going to stick it back into the semi-precious bag thing that came with it, and then pop right back into my day for you real quick just to fill in my habit tracker since that's done now. And since it's still really early, I think I shall work on some journal catch up. So this is how I used to journal once upon a time. These are my 2019 and 2020 journals. And so how I used to do this was like I would collect little bits and bobs from the day and then do up pretty decorated spreads before filling it with text and in coordinating colored ink. So yeah, it took a lot of time and I fell extremely behind, especially once COVID hit and everything. So I actually caught up on the decoration sometime last year, so everything that needed to be stuck in here has been stuck in here. Everything that needed headers and all that have been done. So I started tagging like which pages I wanted to do, and then I had to move, and things kind of fell behind. So I have the, which color ink I want to use on which page, all written in friction erasable marker in the margin, so I know which ink to use, and I am just slowly working my way through. So for today, since I already have Tasha Coral Pink inked up for my month to month, I am gonna just use that to fill up this particular spread. So this is one of the weeks in May 2021, which was, I think we were still in circuit breaker at that point in time, which is what Singapore did to be fancy instead of calling it quarantine. Yeah, so it's a bit weird to be writing about something that happened essentially almost 3 years ago, I think. But I have very many more of these to fill out. So I might just do another video of me just filling these out and then chattering about, just planners and planning in general. So I'm just gonna finish filling out this page in any case, then write down tomorrow's to-dos in my day free, and then I'll probably call it a night, try and fix my sleep cycle, and yeah. The thing about these is that I try very hard to keep my handwriting neat, but also sometimes I want to fill up the space fast, so I end up wanting to write very fast. So that means my handwriting goes down the toilet. But we'll see how this pans out. So in any case, I will stop chattering now, and thank you for joining me, I suppose, on this packing, unpacking, plus all sorts of random journaling kind of plan with me vlog-ish thing. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but in any case, I hope it gave you something interesting to watch, I guess, and I will see you next time, I guess. Bye!